Sprintcar action at PCR as Bob Tunks jumps out and halfway around to Tunks, hauls it back in again, all the way around the cushion, and Tunks comes out on top. Steve Brazier with a full head of steam, nowhere to go. Cocks the car sideways. Tunks a little slow at this stage off turn 4. Brazier is the big challenger at the moment. Onto the main straightaway. Sid Moore's there also. Sid Moore halfway around, causing a chain reaction further back, but they all straighten up. Out of turn 2, Bob Hill back in 4th now. And right around the outside goes Rob Rutley in the 15 car. Max Dumsley still well to the rear of the pack. Onto the main straightaway. Bob Tunks still calling the shots in advance of Steve Brazier in the 58 car, but out of 2. Brazier gets the slingshot, goes to the leaders. Tunks ducks in behind. Sid Moore is 3rd. Best of the rest is Rob Rutley down through 3 and 4. Max Dumsley's there also. In the pack, back in position 6 at this stage in the Australia number 2 car. Just can't get the car wound up at this stage. There's just nowhere to run onto the main straightaway. However, that's not the case for Steve Brazier. Brazier jumping out from the show of the green after putting away Bob Tunks in the 54 car. Bob relegated back to 2nd position, a comfortable 2nd at this stage, but nothing could be more comfortable than Steve Brazier's quarter of the lap lead in the 58 car. Conditions still heavy as we see, with Rutley going to the outfield in the number 15 car after backing the car up into turn 1. So the amber caution lights come out. Al, the drivers are really working for their points in this heat. The track's still very wet, and I guess Sid Hopper's trying to put in a safety measure against last Friday night when the track did go a little bit hard and a little bit slick, so he's put extra water into it in the last couple of days to make it tacky, so we have a great championship track. These drivers certainly working for their points. You can see Gary Rush.
The 30+ degrees promised didn't occur, unfortunately.
Yeah. But Gary Rush, just look at his car. Look at the car, especially the ones that are following the back cars. Rush just cannot make headway through the field at the moment, and the drivers certainly are earning their points in this heat. 9 points going to the leader, the winner of the heat. Sorry, Al. 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. 9, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. They're the points going to the drivers, the top 6 drivers in each heat. So they have to be up there gaining points, and it's the highest point scorer. We'll start on the pole in tonight's Sprintcar New South Wales Championship, brought to you by Goodyear. And as Al's told you earlier on in the night, Gary Rush leads the point score at the moment with 24 points. And David Anderson from Victoria is on 22 points. He has yet to hit the track. And tying for 3rd place is Max Dumsley out on the track now in the Victorian 5 car. And from New South Wales, Bob Tunks also out there in the 54 car. So they're tied on 19 points. They're the top 4 point scorers at this stage, and 3 of them on the racetrack for this heat. So Rush is keen to stay ahead, stay up with points, keep the points up, and he's desperately trying to get in front of Max Dumsley, who is, as I said, equal 3rd in the points. Bob Tunks is up there in 2nd position. Sid Moore not owning too many points so far. 12 points in 9th position is Sid Moore. So, as I say, Al, hard to come by the points tonight. That could all change at the completion of this heat as the green flag flies. And again, race leader Brazier jumps out. Sid Moore on the outside and looking for the way around son-in-law Max Dumsley as they sweep out of turn 2. Bob Tunks working hard to hold down 2nd slot in the 54 car and attempting to use as much track as possible as they race again onto the main straightaway. Max Dumsley with heaps of horsepower but can't get it all onto the ground. Looks for the run through on the inside. This time down the back section. No go there. Switches to the outside with a big move on Bob Tunks, but the former Australian champion has it covered. Meanwhile, Steve Brazier charges ahead in car number 58. And Dumsley's gone. Dumsley's gone.
dropping 3 places now as Gary Rush charges through. But Gary Rush also not making any further impression as the Victorian Gary Warren goes around, but manages to keep the car under fire. And car number 24, Bob Tunk, still in second. Steeman, Steve Brazier coming up to race to the white flag with about 1 1/4 left to travel. Onto the main straightaway and heading for maximum points. A big line to go out to Steve Brazier if he completes the final run around the circuit. Bob Tunk's a 1/4 of a lap to the deficit in second place, and now Gary Rush races into third. Gary Rush, the points leader, goes into third. Out come the twin black and white flags for Steeman, Steve Brazier, 9 big points. Bob Tunk's well driven into second, and Gary Rush, after a late charge, putting the Australia Winfield number 2 car across the wire in third. Steve Brazier in the Metro Tyres entry car number 58, 9 big points, 2 times champion Australia. Put your hands together for Steeman, Steve Brazier.
No time on the event there, Al, because of the earlier stoppage. But Steve Brazier picks up the win in the 58 car, second to Bobby Tunks in 54, and third to Gary Rush in car number 2. So Brazier on 16 points in 6th position, picks up 9 big points, taking him on to 25, and that's helping his starting position in tonight's main event.